Hi, my name is Sophie, and I've been focusing on communication from Shakespeare's plays and how they relate to our day-to-day lives. Shakespeare's plays consistently demonstrate the effects of miscommunication, from friendly or familial relationships to romantic relationships. Shakespeare captures the complexity of communication and the harmful actions that can result from it. In both Julius Caesar and The Tempest, the plots consist of characters that are plagued with conflict, almost always deriving from miscommunication or a lack of communication in total. The functionality of the world depends on communication. For example, in the medical world, miscommunication can lead to injury or even death. In the American Journal of Clinical Pathology, Lorna Miram found that active and clear communication in the workplace is absolutely crucial to avoiding inaccuracies, injuries, and overall improving communication. While the doctors in the journal article deal directly with the effects of communication and the physical health of others, the characters in Julius Caesar also end up facing bodily injury due to miscommunication. Instead of addressing their concerns with Caesar, or attempting to compromise or starting a conversation, Brutus and the conspirators murder Julius. And this death could have easily been prevented by starting a conversation and providing an opportunity for Caesar to defend himself or at least communicate his end. And the conflict between the conspirators and Caesar reminds me of personal disputes with people that I work with, just as they're working with each other in their government. There are people you don't get along with at every job. It's almost inevitable. I even quit a job because a manager was a bit of a bully. Nevertheless, it never crossed my mind to get my coworkers to help me murder her because that is absolutely insane. But as you see in Julius Caesar, like, murder leads to further conflict and further miscommunication and even more deaths, as after Caesar's murdered in the war to come, Cassius, Titinius, and Brutus kill themselves due to misinformation received during the war. And those deaths are some of the most direct examples of the effects of miscommunication in Shakespeare's plays, because the men choose to die and kill themselves because of misinformation and thus because of miscommunication. And Shakespeare continues the theme of miscommunication in The Tempest. All the characters come from very different backgrounds, and so conflict is practically inevitable. Some of them are magical, some of them are royal, some normal humans. And researchers Jackie Verauer and Yumiko Sakamoto found in an article they did for Psychological Science that, quote, a lack of intergroup contact experiences sets the stage for miscommunications, end quote. Since much of the plot involves disagreements between the different characters over who deserves the island and its power, their conflict is elevated due to their difference of background, which again reminds me of our own lives, where, such as being on a campus like Boise State, where you have people who grew up in different places in the country or around the world, and it's harder to communicate with those people. There is more miscommunication, and you have to work harder being more articulate and patient, which of course is hard, but miscommunication with peers on campus does not lead to plotted murders such as Shakespeare suggests, but it can lead to frustration and confusion. But communication is key to developing relationships and developing a sense of community, and it's important to understand your peers. So the extra effort it takes to communicate with people and make sure both your points come across is extremely important.